What's happening, everybody? I'm Dr. Thunder, and this is Two Dads React. Two Dads React is a collaboration between Dr. Thunder, myself, and God Rules. Uh, been best friends since fifth grade, and we're also lame-o dads together now. And so we have a variety of perspectives, and we're going to take a look at uh, a range of things, but we're going to be pretty on topic tonight. Why did Disney and multiple Hollywood studios reject Sound of Freedom? Why did Disney and multiple Hollywood studios reject Sound of Freedom? So this movie was actually filmed 5 years ago. It was finished 5 years ago. How come it wasn't until July 4th of 2023 until we're seeing this movie? So, now this is going to be a spicy one. So, buckle in, grab some popcorn, and you've been warned. Let's go. Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. What's happening, man?
Not much, man. Just trying to get everything done so I can get here in time.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a pretty active couple weeks for you.
Oh yeah, we have baseball like almost every weekday, in the morning, and just family stuff, all that jazz.
I hear you. My son is pitching. He's a lefty, and he's been pitching and playing first base.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
this
how
is
old
his
is he?
second. He's 9. He'll be 10 in August.
Seriously, so is he? Because my son Matthew's 9. Uh, so is he actually a good pitcher and everything, or what?
Well, at this age, you're just trying to get them
He's young.
to throw strikes.
Yeah. That's, I mean, because they sometimes don't even count three strikes. They sometimes, especially if they're not a good batter, or something, they'll like let them go a few past three,
Well,
get them
yeah. So
going.
he's been for the last, oh goodness, it must be the last 3 or 4 leagues that he's played in. So this is the second league for this year. He played 2 leagues last year also. Um, so I guess starting last year is when they started doing like all the sort of regular rules that you expect in baseball with the number of pitches and balls and strikes. And this year, for these two leagues, he's actually there's an ump, and the ump is calling the plays, and they're a lot more specific. The league he's in right now, you can't steal home, but the league he was in a couple months ago, they could steal home too. But it's a lot of stolen bases because the defense is terrible, right?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
they have
right.
a hard time catching the ball
Right,
and
right,
stuff
right.
like
Yeah,
that, and they're not
it's
very
better to
accurate.
just hold on to it and run after them. It seems like
Yeah, yeah, all of that. Yep, yep.
just
All
chase them
right.
around. Yeah.
So
So what do we
you
got,
have
man? What do we got?
yeah, so but you have some sort of introductory thoughts on
Yeah.
today's topic?
Well, I mean, controversial topic for a movie, so I don't think it's just that. I think there's maybe other things going on to where they didn't want to show this movie. I mean, with the title for you have this for this video here, a number of studios passed up, and actually Disney just held on to it right for a while. Didn't want to didn't want to go for it, right?
Well, Disney passed on it. It ended up going
Then
to what's the
they owned
company?
it though. They owned it. They bought Fox and they owned it for a while, didn't they?
Okay, so hold up. Let me do my because I had a window open that had these details, but it was actually Disney passed on it, and then another. It was released by another company.
Right,
So
Angel Studios. What's interesting though is they actually beat Disney's top last movie, Indiana Jones, on July 4th. So,
mm,
interesting considering the name is Sound of Freedom that it defeated Indiana Jones on July 4th, right? So
yeah, and
that's good.
especially given the topic because that's a pretty kind of dark topic for July 4th.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, we need to have a new July 4th, folks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well here let's jump into a couple things.
All
Let's
right.
see here. I got all kinds of stuff, man. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Let's show some perverts in action. Um, that's what our show's about. Let's see here. Some transporters and attempted transporters, and pedos and all of that. Here we go.
The girl tells him she's 13. He says he's 32. Let's see what he's talking about.
Virgin.
Let's see where we have that. Dude. Oh, double your age. Are you cool with that?
Send me pictures.
Hey, you're so cute. Too bad you're so young. Are you a virgin still? That's the type of guy she likes. He says it's dangerous that you're underage. It's dangerous for him to come up in this house and take a shower, all right? I'll tell you that.
I just told him to burn the.
Just call him quiet.
Hi, what's up? What's up? Where you at? You're still 20 minutes away? Where are you?
Can you go outside your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you almost here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this that old show that used to be on TV, or is this a different one?
Okay, so I'm not going to play this whole thing, but basically what's happening here is this guy, he's a predator. He's a predator. She says she's 13. He's trying to come to her house to take a shower with her. He's, I don't know, 40 something. And so now he's, supposedly he's in the neighborhood now. And so they're basically conducting, they're trying to trap the guy. And, there's a number of these kinds of things that are happening. And this is good stuff. This is positive. You can get on those websites, which will show you all of the registered offenders in your neighborhood.
But it's kind of weird. I've heard of like people getting on there for like really ridiculous reasons, but then there's also ones that are real serious too. So it's like, I mean, like I'm trying to think of an example. I heard one the other day and I can't remember it, but there's an example of just absolutely ridiculous of why someone got on the list. And it was something that had nothing to do.
That is true. That is true.
So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Shouldn't they have like two lists, like a general list and then like a real serious list? You know what I mean?
Right.
It seems like.
Well, at least it sort of gives you an idea, though. And
yeah, right.
And if you have kids, you're trying to protect your kids to kind of know where those folks are in the neighborhood. And, they're not supposed to be going to public pools. They're not supposed to be around playgrounds, around schools. There's a long list of things that they're not allowed to do. But somehow, often is the case, they end up doing that stuff anyway. Renting vans and stuff. And speaking of renting vans, let's see here. I've got, let's see here. See if I can find this one. No, not that. It's not that. We're going to play a little bit of that. Let's see here. Where is it at? Okay,
what's your title for this? Okay.
Here's the thing. Here we go. Let's see here. Candace has some pretty edgy stuff to say about this stuff. So what this is this is a video. It's basically what the guy does, and he's making a point that people don't pay attention. They don't pay attention. They're in public, and a dude walks up and he grabs a kid, he puts something over their mouth, and just keeps walking. He acts like nothing here to see. Everything is just straight, right? And people around them, they don't do anything. They act like nothing is happening, right? So here, check it out.
Right, dude. Heck, dude. Seriously? Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's messed up. People don't pay
ridiculous.
attention. They're looking at their phones all the time. Or it's like that.
No, but I mean, if it was a woman, they wouldn't be acting that way, though, would they?
I don't think
Honestly,
so.
I mean, well, maybe in some cities they would. I don't know. No, I don't mean like grabbing like that, but I mean more so just like you're saying something that might be mean, or you're not treating her nice. They might step in, white knight. You know what I mean? You'll see that more often, it seemed like, than I don't know. It seems really strange.
And let me play one more here.
I think
Uh,
that's like a city though. Like if you see in a country or a small town, I don't think that would be like that. I'm thinking more.
okay, so here's another thing, and again, all this stuff is, I pulled off.
P3POs. We'll call them P3POs.
Right, right,
Like
right. uh, so she's saying stop posting your children for transporters. We're just gonna call them all
transporters.
transporters. So here we
I
go.
saw that movie Transporters the other day. Actually, Jason Statham. That was actually a good movie.
Mm-hmm. Different context,
A
but
little bit
yeah.
different though, but yeah, okay.
Right, right. Here we go.
What in the world, dude? Oh my goodness. What was the video about? It was just like
Yeah. So
it was
basically,
a
what it
someone
is
someone that was younger. Was it someone that was younger and they're what was it? Itching them or something? I didn't understand what that was.
no, no, no. This is a baby picture that somebody posted, and
Oh, okay, okay.
what
And
she's
then
doing,
it had comments. It had comments.
right? She's showing all these comments, and there's some
Right.
despicable, disgusting stuff that the folks are saying. Let's see here.
I don't even
There's
know.
one that's
I just don't understand like how their mind even goes there. You know, it's just really weird.
yeah.
I don't
No,
even get it, dude.
it's there's something wrong. There's something clearly wrong. Let's see here. Was it that one? Oh, right here at the bottom there. You see that?
Ah, yeah, I see it. I think I see it. Yeah. It's hard to read, but I think I see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
okay.
It's like, come on. Like,
I
what
gotta
the heck?
increase the size
Okay,
of the screen.
let's head over to you.
All right. If I can get this screen to work. There we go. Well, actually, I was going to mention it was the same weekend as Indiana Jones. Actually, Indiana Jones already been around out for a week, but Sound of Freedom, it already received enough money from the first day to essentially pay for the entire budget of the movie, which was like about 15 million. It's a upstarter type of movie. Obviously, not much money into it compared to Indiana Jones, which had about 330 million in it. But so obviously, I thought it was very interesting because Disney, like you said, Disney owned this movie, right? And they refused to. They just sort of put it on the back shelf, didn't want to deal with it, something like that, right? And how many years was that? Was that
5
many years
years.
or?
The movie was has been done for 5 years.
Oh wow, it's been 5 years. Okay, so it's really interesting to see that Disney was actually beat on July 4th by this movie that has 1/20th the budget, and um, you can see it right here on July 4th. Actually, let's see if I can get on the screen better. July 4th, you can see here Sound of Freedom was number one. And it was actually in half as many theaters almost, 2,634 theaters compared to Indiana Jones and 4,600 theaters. It was actually making more than double per theater as well. So I think that's really interesting. I feel like it's a sign too, because it was on July 4th that this happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something changing in America. I know there's a lot of people that are very negative and think that's not possible.
Like
But,
me? Like me? You who you talking about? Like me?
Well, I mean, you had Roe, of course, v. Wade
Yeah,
overturned, right? That's
yeah,
one, and I mean, you had a lot of other things happening as well that kind of relate. So you're seeing also these companies are losing lots of money. By the way, Disney has lost over 900 million, almost. I think it's probably about a billion at this point, with the just within the last year. With I think it was like 8 movies or something. They did the Toy Story, they did the Indiana Jones, they did was it Elemental or whatever. They did a bunch of random movies, but they lost $1 billion. Their company lost $1 billion, which I think is another because everybody keeps talking about Bud Light and Target, but actually I think Disney is just another perfect example of this as well because of how they've tried to get into uh, society's discussions and taking positions, and now they're paying for it. People are not going to see their movies. They're also trying to still push their ideas in movies, like with Indiana Jones. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. They were essentially they turned Indiana Jones into a shell of himself. Because if you think about Harrison Ford, look at Han Solo, look at Indiana Jones back in the 80s and 90s. He was cocky. He was hitting on girls. He was not scared of anything, right?
right.
Now it's like the exact opposite. He's concerned about women and doesn't he's not cocky whatsoever. And he has this goddaughter that's basically one upping him nonstop in the movie, which is how
Yeah,
they do it in Hollywood now, right?
yeah, they always do that. That freaking uh woman that's half the weight of the dude bodying the dude, and you know like giving knocking him out with one punch and stuff like that. It's like, dude, you guys, you're defying the laws of physics. Nobody, that's goodness.
I play this video game where they actually have half women as fighters in it. It's called Apex Legends, and it's completely unrealistic as well. I mean, there's no way you're going to have women running around, defeating men like that in military type of sport. You know what I mean?
Well,
So it'd be kind
in
of funny.
Fortnite's like that too.
Is it?
Because you have it's not that there are necessarily, they just basically make all the characters are the same amount of strong and fast and acrobatic.
Yeah, right.
So, and the kids refer to the different characters as being different skins. So,
It's
that you
it's worse
apply to
in
the,
Apex.
huh?
It's worse in Apex because the girls are thinner, but they're faster, and so you can't hit them with the gun, right? In the game, in the
Right.
video game, Apex Legends. But then the guys are much wider and slower, so it's like a much easier target to hit. You know what I mean? And they're not stronger either. So like the same strength. It's just ridiculous. They
Yeah.
actually make it better for the women. So it's the same idea as what we're seeing with these movies.
Yeah.
And that's why most people play the women characters more in the game too. But
Now,
anyway,
I
so
see
let's get
all
back
this
to
stuff.
this whole thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I see all this stuff as being sort of related. Like it's all sort of on a spectrum. It's all kind of in the same area. And so, and that is any of the sort of let's say inappropriate for public viewing. Let's put it that way. All right. Any of this
Right.
stuff, I see it as inappropriate for public viewing. So that's anywhere from, drag, you know, uh, story time with drag queens, to school systems, uh, trying to teach your kids about, sexuality and all this kind of stuff, including books that are intended from 5-year-olds to 8-year-olds, where they go into graphic detail about what happens to the body when you're aroused and all of this kind of stuff, in depicting this not just with heterosexuals but with gay too, right? All of this stuff, I see this as not for public viewing, but it's stuff that is being pushed pushed in our face, and I think it's having the impact of desensitizing the general public to a lot of this other stuff that's going on. We know about NAMBLA, National Association or North
Well,
American.
what I was going to say is that it feels like to me, like if it's just a normal thing, it's wrong. But if it's like something in this other realm, it's okay. It's like it gets a free pass if it's in this other realm, right? This realm that we're talking about. Anything in
Well,
that realm is completely okay and fine. But if it's in the normal realm, no, it's all bad. And what I mean is like in society, in public, like you're
right, I
saying.
got you. But we know about NAMBLA. What is it? North American Man Boy Love Association. We know about this. We know that they have been, hiring lawyers to fight legal suits, court cases, and in some cases they've actually won.
Well, you have judges that are not exactly up to par now. So lots of judges like that. And a lot of them were appointed during, what was it, 2012, in that range, when a certain person was in the office. Apparently a lot of corrupt judges got in during that time frame, but it's kind of interesting, and it seems like it just seems to be like a cancer now in society as well. So you can't really trust the justice system too well anymore either.
Right.
And I feel like,
Okay.
though, you know what? A lot of the stuff started in 2017 or 8. Like I was playing this game called Titanfall for a long time, and it was completely normal. I remember when Microsoft would put out video games like car games and be just completely bland and just normal, like normal. You know what I mean? And then like Titanfall was just like, like kind of like Call of Duty, just a bunch of guys and you're going around in spacesuits, jumping around, shooting stuff. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere comes Apex Legends. And it was all of a sudden half women in the game. And then they were pushing all this stuff. And I'm like, what's going on here? This is just weird. And then we started seeing all this other stuff start happening as well around that time too. And just all this stuff coming out of nowhere. And it just seems like it's everywhere now. It seems like it's one big campaign. You see it in movies, you see it in advertising and everywhere, and even in school systems. And it seems to be clearly, obviously orchestrated. It's not exactly rocket science. You could just say all this is complete coincidence, but eventually, when you have 100 coincidences, you just have to ask yourself if you have a brain in your head if you can't realize it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? So this is kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, and they claim that there's this claim that there's no hidden agenda, there's no stuff, but then they come out and they tell us.
As we celebrate Pride and the progress we've made over these past years, there's still work to be done. So to those of you out there who are still working against equal rights, we have a message for you. You think we're sinful? You fight against our rights. You say we all lead lives you can't respect. But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep him from disco, warn about San Francisco, make him wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children, we'll make them tolerant and fair.
At first I didn't get why you'd be so scared of us turning your children into accepting, caring people, but I see now why you'd have a problem with that.
Just like you worried, they'll change their group of friends. You won't approve of where they go at night to protests. Oh, and you'll be disgusted so gross when they start finding things online that you've kept far from their sight.
Like information
guess what? You'll still be alright. We'll convert your children, yes we will.
Reaching one and all, there's really no escaping it.
Cause even grandma likes RuPaul.
And the world's getting kinder.
Gen Z's gayer than Grinder. Learn to love, learn to vogue, face your fate. We'll convert your children. Someone's gotta teach them not to hate. We're coming for them.
We're coming for your children.
We're coming for.
Okay, I can't even play any more of that. There's
it's like nails on a chalkboard, man. Basically, to me. So I don't like watching that stuff. It's just annoying.
well, hold a minute. Let's see. Oh yeah,
I mean, if I was gay, I would like totally hate that video. I'd be like, these people are like driving me nuts. You know.
Okay, so let me. I'm just gonna play a little bit of this one, and because folks will try to say, "Oh, that's just a one-off. It's just satire," and that's actually what they tried to say, that it was satire.
I think at first they were thinking kind of like subtly, right? But now they realize it's like full force, and they got all these people with money behind them, these top, guys at the top, putting all the money behind them, and it's not subtle at all. Everybody sees it. It's like right in your face.
Oh yeah, it's right in your face. But in case folks are like, "Hey, this is a one-off. There's no way that this is like a regular trend." These men's choruses, these gay men's choruses, singing these kinds of songs. Oh well, guess what? Here's another one. That last one was the I guess San Francisco men's gay chorus. This is the Boston gay men's chorus.
What the heck, dude? What the heck, dude? I heard this song before. I heard Joe singing it, man.
Okay. So anyhow, the song is about your children are not your children. Okay?
This is what Joe said recently. He was singing that song, our dear, of course, leader, that guy. He was saying it. He said the exact same thing. They belong to the GOV, folks. They belong to them.
Right.
Not
Your
yours.
children are not your children.
You don't have a right anymore. You don't.
That's
they
right.
don't belong
And
to you.
you remember that clip that I think I played that clip on Two Dads React of the multicolored feminist that was talking about how parenting is fascism.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't basically give them anything that they say they want and don't actually protect them from being delusional and from being kids that don't know what the crap they want, then that's fascism. And she should have the right to basically just grab your kids and do whatever she wants to do, indoctrinate them any way that they want to.
Is she a teacher? A teacher?
She's a teacher.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
This stuff is really horrible. Here, let me play this. Let me play this thing here. So protect our children, right? Here we
It's
go.
just such a natural fit. It's like one of those ideas that's just so good that I'm shocked that no one had thought of it sooner.
So what do you think a drag queen is? A queen of dragons. We really are. We entertain, we lip sync.
Okay, Queen of Dragons. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
of course,
kinda dragon. It's a dragon.
but it
that
tells
they
you,
follow for
but it
being-
tells you how inappropriate it is for a guy dressed in drag not only to be reading stories to kids, but that's not even the worst part, to engage them and asking them questions about, do you know what a drag queen is? Trying to get them talking about it. They have no idea of what you're talking about
Yeah, they think you're a
because they're
dragon.
freaking kids.
I think you're a dragon, man, a queen of a dragon. You know what's funny? I mean, or not funny, but I thought it was all about things like firemen coming and talking about their job and occupation, or a mechanic, or just, whoever. A policeman comes to the classroom and, hey, I'm a policeman. And then they ask questions about what his job's all about and stuff like that. Not queens of dragons, not queens of dragons, right? Not exactly something you want to grow up and be. Most kids probably not the highest, goal in life, right? And of course, they don't understand any of this anyways, right? So, but they don't do that anymore. Whatever happened to like actual normal stuff, like having a, fireman come to your classroom and talk about stuff? Whatever happened to that kind of stuff, man? Teaching math, teaching English, whatever happened to that?
Right.
Weird,
It's totally
weird
ridiculous.
stuff like that, right?
Okay, and I know we're all about
So crazy,
we're all about, believing all women and protecting women, right? Okay. And we definitely, our school system is definitely biased towards girls. It's one of the reasons why 93% of the high school valedictorians and class presidents are female. 93%, and it's been that way for a long time.
Whoa. They got trumped now, bro. It's now trans that are at the head right now. So, you know what I mean? Like, they'll be the ones that are next. So, I mean, obviously you're seeing with sports, right? So what's next, right? So once you have a lot of them in a classroom, they'll be the ones in the top, right? Isn't it true? I think so.
Okay. So, but my point is, we as a society, we try to defend girls, right? So let's listen to what this girl is saying. Let's listen to what this girl.
I feel very upset by the situation, that the fact that boys are going to be allowed to go into the girls' bathrooms. I don't think that they should be allowed to be in girls' bathrooms, because it's just, if they're not a girl, then they shouldn't be in there. If that's how it's meant to be, then it shouldn't be changed, but it's going to be changed anyway, because opinions don't matter for me.
Yeah, I mean, she's pointing out something that's interesting, and that is, it seems like the garden variety traditional opinion, you're first of all, you're not allowed to have that opinion, and somehow, even in a democracy, that opinion, which still is the most common opinion, by the way, is totally like outmatched. Is totally defeated by these other crazy. I don't know, man. It just makes me really concerned.
People just are operating in fear, and this is why I have less respect for a lot of people, because they just, they're scared and they just go along with the program. I ain't going to go along with insane ideas and insane programs and whatever, man. I mean, just whatever, dude. I had my own opinions before. Some people may not have liked my opinions, but I'm not telling people to do this kind of stuff. I'm the exact opposite, I'm like totally against this stuff. So it's just kind of funny, like, they were, back 20 years ago, they were telling Christians to shut up, stop talking about God in school and stuff. And now they're trying to shove this down our throat. It's just like kind of hilarious. Oh, really? Okay. So the Bible's bad, but dragons telling us about stuff in school's good, right? So I don't know.
Yeah. It's totally ridiculous.
Okay.
All right, what you got for us?
Oh, I don't know. I had some other stuff. What was it? Oh yeah, maybe you can find this video. Mel Gibson, he was saying about, or did you see that or no?
No, I didn't see it. Where would I look for it?
He urges everyone. I think you can just type into YouTube. I saw it on YouTube as well. Just type in probably Mel Gibson. Probably
Sound of
that
Freedom?
alone might bring it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'll try that.
Okay. Yeah, that was the second thing that came up.
Yeah, it's down here. It's the one Inspired. It's on Inspired, right there.
Wait a minute. I thought I saw it. Okay, wait a minute. Is at the top?
Mel Gibson has
Oh,
an important
Inspired.
message for you.
Okay. Here, 1 second.
Yeah, Inspired channel. Yeah, you can play it over on yours because I can't play it.
I see it. Okay, yeah. Here, I'll here. Let me go back over here.
All right.
Here we go.
Disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
It's that short? Really? Oh, it's pretty short. That's the shorts.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I thought there was a longer one. Actually, there is a longer one, but you know what I mean? That's good enough, I guess. He's just telling everybody they should go see this movie. He was trying to say also, it was actually longer than that. He was saying something about trying to sell 2 million tickets. And I think they've already done that, by the way, because they made like probably about 25 million by now. So that's some good news, right? And you know what's interesting is I feel like, I'm just going to say it, I feel like on this live stream that maybe with some of the words we're saying and also the title that maybe they don't want to promote it as much. You know what I mean? Because of things we're talking about stuff. I feel like that's partially because when I started talking about Indiana Jones and stuff like that, it's like it started surging, and then it's actually kind of funny, dude. You start talking about video games or Indiana Jones or something, you know, like Vin Diesel, start saying just same famous names, and all of a sudden the views started going up. It's kind of hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go watch this Indiana Jones. It's such an awesome movie. Yes, let's go see it. And of course, the algorithm doesn't know what sarcasm is, which is hilarious. It works quite well. It works on my channel all the time. I say I love something I don't love, you know, and it's like, oh, he likes this stuff. This is good. Let's promote this guy, you know.
You know, it's funny. Candace Owens is really good at that sarcasm thing, and she goes hard with the sarcasm.
It works.
Yeah,
it works.
Everybody, man. like the video, share, comment, subscribe, become a channel member where you'll get access to all archive videos. Support independent media. Super chats enabled. Super thanks for the replay gang. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Dr. Thunder Music, all one word. Spell out the word doctor. And if you want to buy me a sandwich, go ahead and shoot me a Cash App. Sandwich gang. All right. So what else you got for us?
Oh, you got some videos, right? You got some videos?
Oh yeah. I got some stuff here. Let me so one thing I thought we could play, I'll play is the trailer for the movie.
Oh, that's a good idea. I could pull up some other Hollywood stuff because I had a bunch of other Hollywood stuff I didn't have open.
Yeah, and Candace has some pretty snide stuff to say. I'll let her talk too. Let's see here. Right. Here we go. Here's the trailer.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's going to pass the drug trade. Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time with a child 5 to 10 times a day. God's children are not for sale.
How long you been doing this?
12 years now.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? ¿Puedes ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana?
Te lo prometo.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
Which means she'll disappear for good. Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What we do?
You quit your job, and you go and rescue those kids.
So at this moment, she could be a block down the road, or she could be at Moscow, Bangkok, LA. She's a major operator.
It's all rebel territory. No one goes in. Not the army, not the police, not us.
What if this was your daughter?
There's no Marine unit coming.
You're on your own. This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, I'm
serious stuff.
definitely I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely will be seeing it. Um uh I definitely will be seeing it, and I do want to make something clear. I don't believe that individuals that are in the LGBTQ um that are in LGBTQ are party of this
Community.
kind of stuff at all. That isn't the point of covering the variety
Yeah.
of topics that we're sort of covering now. My point is that there is a spectrum, and the sort of agenda of this rainbow movement encompasses a lot more than I think what they're actually saying. And
Slippery slope, right? Slippery slope, and I think some gays are against. Obviously, not some, but probably most
a
are
lot
against
are.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, I would like to hear from that community more aggressive and consistent verbiage condemning and against the silent P. But I'm just I'm
I
saying
think
that.
some of them are scared too. I've seen people getting interviewed about it, and they didn't even want their identity to be seen, and they're like talking like most people they know are against all this stuff that's going on, and they feel like their voice has been silenced, and even though they're part of the same supposed community, they're not able to speak out because I don't think it's organic. I think a lot of these movements we see are not organic, but have a lot of money behind them
Yep.
from Georgie Boy. I think you know who I'm talking about. Some of these guys have a lot of money that push all these things, and they only come around at certain times too. Like, Black, of course, Lives Matter. That only comes around during the election, and that will come around very soon here. Probably next year, just like it did 4 years ago, just like it did 4 years before that. It just comes around exactly at that time. That's the only time it comes around. And I think it's because all the stuff's not organic. I don't think a lot of this movement we see this month is organic either. I think it's completely fabricated, money based, all behind it. This is just my thoughts on it. But
Right.
what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's clearly an artificial movement, and you know Agenda 21. So
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
see, it's
Well,
my
they got
it's my
they got new ones. They got new ones now. Check this out. I was covering this over my business channel. I was covering on God Rules too. They're starting to tax for breathing. Okay, and it's not obvious because when you first look at it, you don't see it unless you understand what it's being said. So New York has got a new fine that they're putting on landlords of apartment buildings, and it's called Local Law 97. And what it is they're getting fined for CO2 emissions in their buildings. Now, what do you breathe out? CO2.
right.
So they're actually getting fined for people living in the apartments they're renting to for breathing. And then they're going to pass that fine off to their tenants in higher rates, which means you're going to be paying for breathing in New York City. And actually, from what I understand, they're doing it in a lot of other cities as well. So all this stuff is like it's almost like it's making fun of us too. Like, are you smart enough to see this in front of your face? Are you smart enough to see it, or are you going to just keep going along with it like a little zombie and just believe whatever you see and do what they tell you and all this kind of stuff? And we're like I said, I think it's actually a very sophisticated scam that they pull. And I showed that. Let me show you something. I'm going to show something right now. I
Yeah, go ahead.
covered this. Uh, okay, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It's a graph of what happened back in 1972. It's what the blank happened in 1971. This is really amazing. This is actually a scam. This is a financial scam, but we can't tell anybody this because guess who's doing it? Guess who's doing it? The highest levels. Check this out. 1972, the dollar goes off the gold standard. Guess what else happened at the exact same time? They told women you need to go out and work.
Yep.
The exact same time. Why did they do that? Look at the compensation. Your money, the amount of money you make compared to your productivity. It went sideways. And actually it's worse now than even then. Right now you're probably making 1/3 of the money that you're probably supposed to be making. So if you're making $20 an hour, you're probably supposed to be making about 58 right now. And why is it you're making less? It's because they stole the money and printed it in the background and gave it to their friends while
Yep.
telling women they need to get into the workplace. And why did they do that? Because if you have a family and you had one person working, paying all the bills, and if they left it like that, everybody would have noticed that they're being stolen from. But they said, okay, if we tell women to work at the exact same time, we'll have two people working and they'll just be working for one wage and they won't realize they were stealing from them. So that's basically what happened there. So,
Mm.
at any rate, my point is that they have all these type of things going on right now, and I feel like it's the same thing with this whole trans and all that too. It's the same exact thing. It's just like a sophisticated scam, and I feel like it's because they're trying to essentially push society a certain direction. They want people to have less family, not to have kids, because then they're easier to, of course, control. And this is, I think, mainly behind all of it. And this is the same with this too. This
Yeah.
is also why they made all the cult leaders polygamous. You see, you never notice that all the crazy cult leaders are polygamous. That's so people think that polygamy is evil. So they don't want you to have multiple wives because look at what happened in the Old Testament when Abraham had too many kids. Egypt was threatened by it. Egyptian government was threatened by the size of the family. See what I mean? So I think it's all about keeping down the numbers of people, having less children, and all this. And this is what all this stuff is. It's all trying to take your money from you and make you essentially dumb and not realize that they're controlling you. That's what I think. That's what the whole thing is. But that's
Yeah,
my thoughts.
it's all population control stuff. There's a reason why they push to the front communities that do not reproduce, that are not capable of reproducing, is because
Right.
by pushing that, um, you can normalize that, sort of encourage more folks to be more open with that, and then that's going to continue to have more and more of an influence an effect on kids. And now we're seeing that more and more kids are identifying as LGBTQ, wanting to have, uh, become trans. All of this stuff is going on, and all of it is within that sort of population control window, right? Because it's all stuff that you can't reproduce, and so that's why it's not really because they have this love for people, that identify as LGBTQ. It's not because they have
No, they're
love.
just using them.
They're using them, and they're using the
Right.
movement and their struggle as a way to actually achieve this other goal.
Right. That's exactly it's a sophisticated financial scam. And actually what I think they're doing is they're trying to make it so this last generation has so few children that this is the reason why we need robots. And now we have for 3 years from now, Elon Musk is going to be releasing robots, and they're going to have lots of robots all around us doing a lot of the work. And then they're going to be doing a universal basic income, which is a video I'm going to be doing very soon here. They are already rolling it out in 50 different cities. They're actually rolling this out in a lot of places. They're trying to essentially change society to where you don't have kids and essentially you're relying on the state for everything. And they also end up taking all the money from you because you're not paying attention. So you end up being very poor while they're extremely rich. And I was going to talk about you've heard of John Stossel, right? He was doing he did not a documentary. He did like a little show on American Indians, and he actually showed which were the richest tribes. The richest tribes took $0 from the government. One of them, the richest tribe, owns banks. Okay, the next richest one owns casinos, and they both didn't take any money from the government. There's extreme poverty in all the other ones that took money from the government. So that's what they want to do. They want to do this universal, of course, basic income, so that everybody's on the dole, and then they're extremely poor in poverty, and they just do whatever they're told. This is what they want. And then they're at the top, extremely wealthy, charging you for breathing, like I said with the New York City thing. And you won't even know it because you're not paying attention. You don't even know you're being charged for breathing. It's so stupid. But I mean, it's their way of making fun of you without you even knowing it. They're actually making fun of people. I think it's sort of a mockery in a sense. You're not smart enough to know that we actually stole all this money in the background, and you're working 2 people in the home and making 1 wage. And actually, I think at this point, it's probably a third the money. And that's why you can't make it. That's why you can't survive, is because we're stealing it in the background, giving it to all our friends. And this is when they took it off the gold standard. This is what happened. Right now, if they didn't take the dollar off the gold standard, you would be making 2 to 3 times as much money right now. Everybody would be. So believe it or not, that's actually the case, according to those graphs. So you would have money coming out of your ears. You wouldn't even have to work. I mean, well, you wouldn't have money coming out of your ears. You know what I'm saying, though. You'd be doing well, unless you're extremely bad with money and you're gambling all the time or something. But,
Right.
there's people like that. There's people that are really bad with money, of course. Right.
All right.
Yeah. What do you got? Actually, I was going to mention this next. After this, I'm going to talk about Gal Gadot and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and just how a lot of the Hollywood actors are starting to stand up to this woke stuff. And there's actually a ton of strikes going on. We'll be talking about that next, but you can go ahead. Let's go. What do you got? You got anything?
And of course, there's an interesting connection between all of this stuff that we're talking about and a significant reduction in testosterone rates in men.
I think that's purposely too. I think that's on purpose.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it's through food or what's going on.
And there's a crazy bias against testosterone. Doctors have no problem prescribing estrogen for women when they get past a certain age. When men get past a certain age, you start talking about TRT. They want to slow walk you. They don't want to play ball. They want to try to find any other thing that they can do. Why is
Actually,
that? Why? It's just ridiculous, man.
There's
All right.
actually a herb you can take. It's called Tonkat Ali that I take that actually helps with testosterone and stuff like that.
Right.
It's natural. It's just a herbal thing, but it's not actual testosterone, but it just helps your own body. You know what I mean? But at any rate.
All right. So again, we're talking about protecting our kids. We're talking about how they're conditioning the culture. They're conditioning our kids to think that basically worse and worse behavior, more and more immoral, despicable, kind of behavior, stuff that is not just didn't just used to be taboo, but stuff that is actually over sexualizing kids. Okay, you want to talk about this, right? So, why does my 7-year-old need rolled up booty shorts? For a freaking 7-year-old girl. Rolled up booty shorts. Okay? All right, so check it out.
Why does my 7-year-old need rolled up booty shorts? Let's fix them cut. Like, who even made these and why? Almost done. That's so much better and more comfortable.
What in the world?
And the thing is that even when she supposedly fixed them, they're still really short for a freaking 7-year-old girl. I'm telling you, this stuff.
Yeah.
What's allowable as far as is what these kids wear now. It's like, dude, like what the heck is going on? Here I got another. It's
the Kim Kardashian effect, man. That's what it is.
We're talking about protecting kids.
So I'm about to show you a clip, and I want you to seriously think when I ask you: are you really okay with little kids being exposed to this?
Let me ask you something. Tina, would the book bother you as much if it were a male and a female doing animations that are instructional for kids to understand that type of sex relation?
This has nothing to do with if it's male and male, female and female, or male and female. They are obscene and they are pornographic. And here's My Body is Growing, a guide for children 4 to 8. I could read to you out of this book. And it says that Sabrina's vagina becomes moist and warm, and Marco's penis gets very stiff. Marco then pushes his penis into Sabrina's vagina, always in and out. That feels great for both of them. This is appropriate for 4 to 8-year-olds. This is found in grade schools all across the country.
This right here is the face of a guy who just realized he may have been fighting on the wrong side of history this whole time. Children ages 4 through 8 are to be protected, period. There shouldn't be any exceptions to that rule. They don't need to know about heterosexual intercourse. They don't need to know about homosexual intercourse. And they definitely don't need to be exposed to autogynephilic men dressed in indecent costumes reading to them about those things, or really anything else.
If you would have asked me like 5-10 years ago, or probably 10 years ago, actually, it's been a while this has been going on, but if they're gonna be doing things like this, I'd be like, yeah, right, dude, this is beyond ridiculous. People are not this stupid. Apparently they are that stupid, folks. Apparently they are. Some people are.
Oh, they definitely are. They definitely are. And I'll tell you, we're being pacified by technology. That's what's happening. I mean, all of the stuff that this technology does, all the stuff our phones do, all the gadgets, all the toys that we have. I mean, you saw that one of those clips I played earlier when a freaking kids are being like abducted, like right in front of people, carried off and putting something over their face like this right in front of people, and they didn't even do anything. They didn't even
like
do
New
anything.
York, man. Because like I remember stories like 10-15 years ago, someone's like literally in the park being robbed and just everybody just watches and like they're like eating their lunch watching it happen. They don't even care, so I feel like it's like a New York City or some big city. They just don't care, man. I don't think it would be like that in a town. I really hope not. I seriously hope not.
All right, let's hear what Candace has to say. She'll say what she thinks. Here we go.
Because you're transphobic. Trans people just want to exist. So what if we're focusing on your children and we're not saying they can pick their pronouns and we're selling tuck bathing suits and we're in the classrooms talking to them about their genitals? We just want to exist. No, You're all a bunch of perverts, and you're getting called out for being perverts, and we're not going to stop calling you out for being perverts, because guess what? We have skin in the game now. We have children, and we're not going to allow them to think that any of this is normal, because it's not. And that's all I have to say.
You know, so she says what she thinks every once in a while. You know, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you. I really look. If they would just keep it to themselves, I wouldn't have any issue. I don't care what you do. You do what you want to do. But when
that's
you're
what most
trying to
people
do this
are. They
stuff
don't
around
care,
my
right?
kid, but when you're trying to do the stuff around my kid, I have to. I mean, I have to. I'm sorry. I have to
I
say
feel like
something.
there's something. I feel like there's something mental going on here, because, like, you know, everybody is like, yeah, live, let them do what they want in privacy of their home or whatever. But now it's like, you know, they're like obsessed with, not, I'm not saying they in respect the entire group or something, but it seems to be certain vocal people in their group, and the others need to not be silent and say, hey, you guys, what are you doing here? This is really messed up. You know, these are not our kids. It's their kids. What are you doing? Right. Uh, even if it was theirs, what are they talking about? This is like crazy stuff, man. Why are they talking about stuff like this to very, very, of course, young? It makes literally no sense. They're too young. They don't understand anything you're talking about. What are you doing? It makes me
I,
feel
I,
like there's like a worm in their head, and they just like, there's like a worm, and it's like controlling their mind or something. I don't know what it is, dude. Like a
you can
sci-fi movie, you know, like, you know, those movies where like one of the people in the family gets replaced by an alien and it acts
oh right.
different. It's like that. You know?
You could kind of
I'm
understand how
sorry if that sounds
somebody.
offensive, but it's pretty. It might sound offensive, but it's pretty offensive what they're doing. So, you know, honestly, really,
100%.
give me a break.
You
Yeah.
know, you could kind of understand how people would believe that these people that are trying to get to the kids so young, it's like they're trying to. It's like they're grooming the kids. It's like they're trying to find a way in mass to groom kids. And it's freaking disgusting. And it's like, what the heck are we doing? Why are we allowing even a second of this stuff to happen?
Well,
You know,
is it like maybe because it was in the darkness before, but now there's so many of them, they're so bold, they're just coming out in the light, and they're just like, hey, let's just do it in the light. You know, let's let everybody see it. You know.
I don't know, but look, you can do what you need to do, what you want to do. That's fine. Over, you know, in privacy, you know, so that general society doesn't have to, you know, has to have to witness, at least so that kids don't need to be witnessing. I saw, man, let me see if I can find. I don't even think I can play this video. I don't even think I can play it. I'll just describe it. It's a family
Don't play anything.
parade. Yeah, I'm not going
Okay.
to play it. There was a family parade, and in this family parade, there was you know, a gay, uh, I guess, gay and lesbian component to it, where they have this guy in the back of a truck. Okay, he's strapped down like S&M with, you know, buttless chaps on, and some other dude whipping him with a whip. And this is freaking a family. It's a family event.
It's a family parade.
Yes.
This sounds like a twisted joke from like college. Like, can you imagine this happening or something? It's like, I remember some guys in college just making really crazy jokes and stuff. This sounds like insane, dude. Sounds insane. I
Yeah.
laugh because I'm like, what the hell's going on here, man? This is crazy. It's like Twilight
It's
Zone,
really
man.
crazy. All right, here, let me play this. You know what? I'm going to turn the volume down because I don't want to get demonetized. Let me start it back off. You just have to like read what it says. Here, let's see. Let's try this again. Okay, so what
Oh,
she's
when they say save, you're saving the video?
yeah, on TikTok
Wait,
you can
seriously?
favorite it, which it basically saves it, and you can also save videos. Matter of fact, that's what I'm doing. I download the videos and then I bring them over onto the computer so that I can show them this way. But I download them on my phone, right?
Yeah, I've only
So
used TikTok like once or twice, like literally ever.
yeah,
So I don't know much about it.
but it tracks how many downloads, tracks how many times a video is favorited.
Oh, okay,
And so
gotcha.
she's gone through
Alright.
a bunch of videos and she's shown that
Right.
like why are these like with little girls and little boys?
These aren't little kids watching little girls or little, yeah, I understand. It's something else going on here. Yeah, the parents, they may why would they be doing that? They just like the fact they're getting so many views and stuff. Maybe on YouTube they'd be making money or something. It's just really messed up, dude. Especially considering, right?
Well, you
And it
can
kind of
you're
reminds me of Hollywood, actually. It reminds me of Hollywood because they would like you remember like that who's that short guy on Different Strokes? What are you talking about, Willis? I can't remember that dude's name.
oh
But
oh man, you said it too quick. Oh
yeah, I
my
can't remember
goodness.
his name.
I know. Of course I know who we're talking about.
But he
Um,
ran for governor or something too, I think. I used to know his name. At any rate, he was talking about how he was completely used by his father and his parents for money and acting, and this happens all the time. So it's like these people that just use it like a vulture, kind of just sucking the money out of their kid. It's an actor, and you can
Gary
see maybe
Coleman.
how that could happen on YouTube. Gary Coleman, yeah, you can see how that could happen on YouTube as well, where the parents, especially if they're not really good parents, might you know use them for views, right? So
Yeah, well, let me say this. TikTok you can monetize your content on TikTok. I mean, you
oh,
have
you
to
can.
get
Okay.
a lot of views. And the way that TikTok works is it's not really algorithm based like YouTube is, not in the same way. So someone that doesn't have very many uh, subscribers or followers can actually get a lot of views pretty quickly on TikTok. It's actually much easier to do so.
YouTube YouTube used to be that way more so at one time. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
one
now
sec.
it's
Yeah.
like yeah, yeah. All right, sure. So anyhow, let me go. Let me see if I have anything else left. I might have like one thing. Okay, so this is just kind of
I'm
like
back.
a yeah, it's all right. So this is just kind of like a what the heck kind of moment. And with all of the danger in the world, I mean, you saw that clip I played where they were just swiping kids like in a big city with a bunch of people walking around and nobody did anything, let alone in a situation like this. You can't let your kids just be doing anything anymore. So let's watch this and see what's up.
Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Who the fuck just let their baby out the house? What the fuck? Wow. About to go out to the street.
Oh, it's a baby.
What
What in
the
the world?
fuck? Whose baby
What
is
the heck,
this?
dude?
Come on.
What in the world, dude? Yeah, that's not good. He's walking down the street, man. Crawling down the street. Crawling down the street.
Yeah, man, especially with as aggressive as these transporters are now, you
Yeah,
know, and yeah, I mean, you can't do that. You got to be. What does the Bible say? Be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, walks about with as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Don't make it easy for him.
yeah.
Come
And
on.
it's really kind of, it's kind of really strange about all this is like where I live. I know that in the classrooms they don't. I've been talking to my kids, and they don't have these flags or any of the stuff going on at where my school is.
Right.
But of course, my where I live is like this city that I live in was known to have the most churches per square foot out of any city too. But I mean, that doesn't mean all the people are good or something. But
Right.
it's just kind of weird, like, and then seeing these other cities where it's like the exact opposite. Um, it's like weird. You know, I'm kind of glad that our schools are not like that yet here. But I mean, I know that there's just not even very far away. There's towns like that, not far away from where I live. So it doesn't take much. And also, I know some of these people, they purposely move to these towns, small towns, so that they can get on the board and do all this stuff too. So that's another thing that's happening a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to show, or
Oh yeah,
um
I was just going to mention really quick, like there are a number of Hollywood actors and actresses that are speaking out now a little bit. You have Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman. And also you have like Johnny Depp. He's been talking against Disney, and I think it's because he was also bitten, because they basically made him
oh yeah.
guilty until
That's right.
proven
Believe
innocent
all
because of
women.
Amber Heard.
Believe all women.
Right. So and of course he was found to be innocent, but I mean, you even have Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and he's kind of a fence sitter, I've noticed in the past, but even he's kind of joined in on this, like saying, the one thing that made him successful was playing to what the audience wanted, knowing your customer. And I mean, it's very simple, obvious logic, but for some reason, a lot of these big companies don't understand this, or perhaps they don't really care because they have some sort of thing they're trying to push, right?
Right.
But it's not. It is very simple to understand. So he's been speaking against a lot of what's been going on in Hollywood, and it's really kind of funny noticing that all the top actors and actresses that are in action movies these days are like in their 70s. Like you have Tom Cruise, you have Sylvester Stallone. I don't even know how old Dwayne the Rock Johnson is. I'm sure he's got to be in his 50s or 60s by now, isn't he? I don't know even know how old he is. I mean,
Oh
all
yeah,
these people
yeah,
are getting
no, he's
old,
got to
man.
be. Well, he's got to be. Well, here, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
And he's probably one of the young. He's probably one of the youngest of all the action stars. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
he's
is him,
51. He's 51.
and he's like the youngest guy. I mean, Jason Statham's probably a lot older. He's probably like 58, or I don't know how old he is, but you know what I mean. So all these guys. I mean, look at Clint Eastwood. He's like in his, what is he, 80 or something? I don't even know how old he is, man. He's
Jason
super old.
Statham is 55.
Okay, and I think the oldest would be like Clint Eastwood. I think he's in his 90s almost or something now. He's
Oh
really
yeah,
old. Yeah, but I mean,
93.
Stallone's like
He's 93.
70, and he's still doing.
He's
Yeah,
93.
Stallone's still doing action movies. He's like 70.
Yeah,
It's like
Stallone is
how old is
ridiculous.
Tom Cruise? I'm really wondering how old, because he looks younger than he
77.
is. I know. What?
Stallone is 77. Tom
Right. That's
Cruise has got to
insane.
be pushing 60.
60 something. He's got to be at least.
61. He's 61.
Okay.
Tom
Can you
Cruise
believe
is
that Stallone was in action movies recently and he's like almost 80? Like what in
yeah,
the world?
77, man. That dude's the beast. Stallone is a beast, man.
But I mean, it's just funny because there's
Good
like
old
no
Rocky.
new. There's like no new action stars. Like the youngest one is probably The Rock. I'm thinking, like, who else is there? It's like there's no one, man.
And
They're
The
all like,
Rock is in
pot
ridiculous
smoking,
shape, man.
funky looking dudes.
Rock is in ridiculous shape, man. You
Yeah,
consider that dude's
he's
51.
taking stuff just like all those strongmen. They take stuff. Stallone takes stuff. All these guys take stuff. It's so obvious. Especially if you follow that stuff.
I honestly, I don't.
They all do it. They all do it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
maybe
I don't
Jason
actually see a
Statham doesn't.
problem
Maybe
with
he
it.
does, but-
I don't actually see a
Well,
problem with that.
he's got to keep his looks. They got to look big, right? So.
Yeah, but I don't actually see a problem with that as long as they're doing it in a healthy way. If they're abusing
that's
it,
the
then that's
concern.
different.
That's the concern because a lot of these big guys, they end up dying at like age 45. A lot of these, big muscle dudes, because they take too much of it and they're just like never stop.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you abuse, obviously, if you abuse anything, there's going to be a problem. But if you have doctors involved and you're actually just doing what you're supposed to do, and you're not eating ridiculous amounts of protein, that's actually what kills people. Is your body can't handle that amount of protein. Stuff like PEDs, steroids in particular, it makes it so that your body can synthesize a lot more. It can digest a lot more protein, and protein kills your kidneys and your liver, and it kills you. Protein is what kills them.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably goes on and off stuff so that he's smart about it, but yeah, I'm sure he does. And Stallone too. I heard he was taking some horse stuff actually. I don't know what it was, but he got caught in an airport with it, like, one time. He probably goes off it after a movie. I'm sure he does. He'd be dead, I'm sure. Otherwise, but yeah, I mean, anyway, that's all I got, man. And it's getting kind of late, anyways. I think my wife wants me to do some stuff here, so.
Uh-oh.
She's got some work. She got some work for me or something. She's got something for me to do.
All right, man. Well, that's that's our time. Please, folks, like the video on the way out. Share the video, subscribe, join the channel, all of that kind of stuff. And super thanks for the replay gang. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Dr. Thunder Music, all one word. Spell out the word doctor. If you want to buy me a sandwich, go ahead and shoot me a Cash App, Sandwich Gang. And that's it. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
Yeah, see you guys.
All right now.
What?